Okay. Hi, this is Ice Blue 333. Currently, it is January 13th, 2026. Okay, well, I was gonna make a video today, but so a situation happened at my house, so it's like, okay. So I think I'll start off with the news that happened that just recently came out. Apparently, it came out that Bill Clinton was supposedly requested to testify today, I guess, to Congress, and apparently he didn't show up. And also, apparently tomorrow, on January 14th, 2026, I think they said that Hillary Clinton she's subpoenaed to testify tomorrow, but she also may not show up or whatever. I think some kind of letter was submitted, but I didn't. This news is new, so I'm like, I'll just wait till tomorrow to see what happens. Because like I said, for tomorrow on January 14th, 2026, Donald Trump, he has a progression to Saturn, and that means that should be like a depressing. That should be a depressing event for him. So let's see here. So I guess let's see here. And again, I want to continue with a little bit more astrology. I already said that there are a slew of high ranking politicians that are having um progressions going on right now, and there's also a lot of crazy astrologies going on right now too in regards to the transits. So like I think I said that for Donald Trump on January 14th, 2026, he has a progression of Saturn. For JD Vance, his progressed moon, I think it will oppose his natal moon. For Hillary Clinton, I think her progressed moon will make an aspect to, I think, Neptune. Let me pause for a second to double check. Okay, I had to grab a coat because it's freezing in here. But anyway, so for Hillary Clinton on January 15th, 2026, her progressed moon will trine her progressed Neptune. And so maybe a hidden secret could come out around this date. I've already said JD Vance. Now, Hunter Biden. For Hunter Biden on January 15th, 2026, his progressed moon was sex house progressed sun, and that means he may get an ego boost, or just mean it may mean that there's going to be like a major event that happens. And let's see here for Bill Clinton on January 16th, 2026. His progressed moon was sex house progressed nodes, and let's see here. Let me pause for a second. I think the next time that's going to hit in regards to for Bill Clinton, his progressive moon making aspect to his nodes is going to be in May sometime, either May 4th or mid May or late May. I don't have the lure right here. My other phone is charging and it was dead. Anyway, so let's see here. And then also I think I said that on the date of January 18th, 2026, looking at transits now, transiting Mercury will conjoin transiting Mars, and that astrology lines up with events coming out in regards to Epstein. Additionally, also on January 18th, 2026, there will be I believe a new moon, and it makes I think the ascendant exactly conjoins Bill Clinton's uh, natal Rahu, and I think also 2 days later on the 20th, I believe, the transiting nodes will make an aspect to his ascendant lord, which is Venus. And so it may mean like there's a big event that happens in regards to Bill Clinton. And so I say all this to say the last time I've seen a slew of a slew of progressions and transits that are making crazy aspects was the last time I've seen it was with Charlie Kirk. And that's when, again, I repeat myself, but that's when I think Donald Trump Jr. he had a progression where it's progressed ascendant conjoined his progressed Saturn. That should have been a depressing event, and that happened on August 27th, 2025. And then I think days later on September 2nd, 2025, for JD Vance, his progressed moon made an aspect to Mars. That should have been an angering event. And let's see here on September 4th, 2025, for Pete Hegseth, his progressed moon made an aspect to Uranus, and that should have been a shocking event. And for Usher Vance on September 5th, 2025, her progressive moon made an aspect to Mars that should have been an angering event. And I brought up Taylor Swift because James Comey, he said something about her orange colored album. And, you know, they always called what they're calling Donald Trump Orange Man or whatever. And so and I think earlier that inside the year, Taylor Swift and Donald Trump reportedly got into an argument or a spat or something like that. Anyway, so I looked at Taylor Swift's chart at that time, and it showed that her progressed moon made an aspect to her sun, and so it should have been like some kind of ego boost possibly. And then looking at the regular transits or whatever, I think that there was an eclipse that happened on September the 7th, 2025, and also I think on the day that Charlie Kirk was killed or assassinated, transiting Sun conjoined transiting K2 in the sky, and I think also transiting Jupiter was at 19 degrees 33 minutes. And weirdly enough, on January 14th, which is today's the 13th, right? Wow, that's tomorrow. So on January 14th, 2026, transit Jupiter will be at the same degree of 19 degrees 33 minutes, which is the same degree that Jupiter was when Charlie Cook was assassinated all the way back in 2025. Let me pause for a second and get some water. Let me say this though, all the way back in 2025, I said that Taylor Swift, she had two progressions that hit. One was on September 5th, 2025, where her progressed moon made an aspect to her sun. She should have gotten some kind of ego boost. However, days later, I believe on September the 18th, 2025, for Taylor Swift, she had her progressed moon made an aspect to her Mars, and pretty much it should have been like an angering event or something like that. And I think around that time or whatever, Donald Trump, he there was a plane that almost collided into his plane or whatever, and also I believe he had a helicopter. I think the hydraulics went out on the helicopter or whatever. He had to change helicopters. So who knows? Maybe James Comey. He said something about Taylor Swift's album or whatever, and then previously I think all the way back out of May, he had made, I think it was May 16th or May 13th, one of those days. He made a comment about 8647, and 8647 means the 47th president of the United States. Anyway, and then weirdly enough, on the same day, I sent my tweet to Hillary Clinton. So it's a lot of stuff has happened since May 2025, and I probably sound crazy. You have to go through my tweets and look at exactly what I'm talking about, because it's so much stuff has happened, and I'm dealing with some stuff here at the house right now too. I want to talk about that here on this video too. But anyway, so let me pause for a second. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain what I did all the way back on, I believe, May the 13th, 2025, in regards to sending a tweet to Hillary Clinton. But before that, I want to get to my main point. So it's weird that I'm not saying that Taylor Swift's music was a threat or anything like that. It's just that it's weird that James Comey, he made a tweet. He sent a tweet out talking about 8647 after he saw some seashells in the formation of the numbers 8647. And so see all the way back in September, I think James Comey, he made either it was August or September, I forgot the exact date, but James Comey, he sent out he sent a video out this time. I think it was a Zoom call, I don't know, but he was talking about pretty much how much of a fan of Taylor Swift he was, and he was talking about the release of her new album or something like that, her Orange Color album. And so it's like and then he said go watch her podcast. I think it was the first podcast she had ever done, and she was releasing. It talked about her release of her new Orange Color album, and so it was a lot of weird innuendos inside of that podcast. If you go back and watch it, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, it was the first podcast she did. So my point, on September the 18th, 2025. Taylor Swift, she had a progression where her progressed moon made an aspect to her Mars. And weirdly enough, around the same time, there's a plane that almost collided with Donald Trump's plane. Okay. So it was like she was upset about something. It's weird that she may have been upset about the plane not colliding or whatever. But that's just in my opinion and looking at the astrology. I'm not saying that she's any kind of threat. Anyway, so looking forward in regards to and maybe she didn't even do anything. Maybe she was like, dang, that could have been something. I don't know. And it was weird also that I think Tim Waltz, he also there was a video that was posted in regards to him. I think it was on Labor Day. He was saying that because around Labor Day there was a news that came out that Donald Trump was dead. And so Tim Waltz, it came out that Donald Trump, he said, no, I'm not dead. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. You wish. But anyway, So Tim Waltz, he I think on September 1st, 2025, there was a video that was released of him saying that, well, he's probably not dead, but one day we'll hear some news. One day we'll hear some news. And so I think 10 days later, or 9 days later, because it was September 1st, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. My overall point, I'm probably repeating myself, was that looking at Taylor Swift's chart, it seems like she should have been angry about something around September 18th. So looking at the progressions now in regards to the people that are involved, the political figures, it's like something is depressing that's going to happen for Donald Trump on the 14th of January, 2026. And then something fated happens for Bill Clinton around the 16th, 17th, or 18th of January, 2026. And then for Hillary Clinton, it's like a secret gets exposed for her. For Hunter Biden, it's like he gets an ego boost. And then for JD Vance, it's like an emotional event. Maybe it's just an event for him, an emotional event or completion. The weird thing that I'm looking at is Adam Schiff. On the 26th, I believe, of January 2026, Adam Schiff will have a progression to Jupiter. I think his progression was sextiles Jupiter, and it's like it means that he would get lucky. And I think around the same time for Bill Clinton, and you already know that Bill Clinton is going to have a progression to I believe his nodes on the 16th of January. So on the 24th of January 2026, his progressed moon will make an aspect to, I believe, his progressed Pluto, or his natal Pluto. I forgot which one. But see, his progressed natal Pluto was also hit on December 17th, 2025, and that's when the DOJ was supposed to submit all of the files in regards to Epstein. And so apparently it came out on the 24th of December 2025 that they still had they found over 1 million files that they need to sift through. And so apparently Bill Clinton was apparently, I didn't know this, but he was supposed to testify today, I think, maybe on January 13th, 2026. And apparently it didn't happen. And so, and then also tomorrow for Hillary Clinton, I think they said that Hillary Clinton's supposed to testify as well tomorrow on the 14th. But she also may not show up, and that may be what causes Donald Trump the disappointment. I think that Maria, oh God, I don't know, the lady, the Venezuelan lady who received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2025. She may give Donald Trump her Nobel Peace Prize tomorrow. I don't know, but all I know is that tomorrow on the 14th of January, Donald Trump, he's going to be depressed about something. It's like a block or something. So we will see what comes up with that. I did not know that Hillary Clinton may testify tomorrow as well on the 14th of 2026 January. So let me get to this incident with my relative, because I'm like, who knows? I might get locked up, or who knows? I don't know. Let me pause for a second. Okay. Now you know that I told you that pretty much all the way back on for the date of November 25th and December 10th, 2025, I had progression to Saturn, just like Donald Trump is having a progression to Saturn tomorrow on the 14th of January 2026. So I had a progression to Saturn 2 times on November the 25th and December 10th, 2025. But also, I had a dasha change, and I had a major dasha change where my entire life was supposed to change. And apparently, on the exact date that my dasha changed, pretty much I had an incident with a relative, where this relative, they came here and they said they was going to sell, I think, move on a family property. And so I didn't really have no problem with it or whatever, but except then she got an attitude with me, and I'm like, what the world? I tried to tell her that or this relative, that another relative had some parts of the property too. And so this person was like, child stands out of child. I'm like, and so we got into a little argument. But I'm like, look, I walked off. Look. So lo and behold, I'm gonna make my YouTube videos like I normally do, inside the back of the woods back there. My first video was made, I believe, in the back of the woods back there, where I did my face reveal in regards to the astral seek. And so apparently this relative, they were upset with me. I just went on and made my little video or whatever, or did what I was doing inside the back door, came on back, and didn't think nothing of it. So this was I think this was around anyway. I'm not going to give any dates because being at Saturn and then being that it was basically two Saturn progressions very, very close to each other and a major dasha change. It means my whole entire life changed when this person showed up. And so, my dasha changed from, I think, Rahu, Mars to Jupiter. And see, I've experienced, I think, Rahu, Jupiter, the Rahu major period of my dasha and the Jupiter subdasha. If you know astrology, you know astrology. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so the last time I had the last time that this astrology happened, pretty much there was an instance with relatives, and basically my grandfather, he ended up getting kidnapped and all this other stuff, and it was a whole bunch of drama that went down. I'm like, and then in the end my grandfather died, and even more drama happened. And so I'm like, look, so flash forward to 2 days ago. I think it was what's today? Today's the 13th. So I believe January the 11th. So I'm walking in the back there in the woods like I normally do, walking the dog, and pretty much I run into this relative again, and then they look at me and I look at them and I'm like, okay, hey, I make videos back here and I walk the dog back here. Hey, bye. Oh, and I think I had my pistol. I always keep when I walk anywhere inside the woods. Look, I'm black. If I'm walking outside the woods, I have my pistol on me, okay, and or my rifle. So anyway, and so see, this relative is the type of is what she did, or what this relative did was pretty much she has this mindset that I'm gonna do. I can do what I can do. How do I say this? Let me pause for a second. Okay, so I think it's more so like the mindset of I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. And this person hasn't lived here a day in their life, and I've been living here for 35 years, mind you. And so I always walk inside the back of the woods with my pistol on me or my rifle on me. Sometimes I target practice, and so, or sometimes I hunt too, but that's rare. And I make YouTube videos and walk the dog. And nature, look at nature too. Anyway, so apparently this person saw me on the 11th of January, and so I said, hey, I make videos back here, and I think this person has this mindset of I don't have to tell you anything or whatever, and so I didn't think nothing about it. So I walked on back to where I live at or whatever. Next, you know, an hour later, I got another relative that's parked at the top of the road up here, and a police officer parked. I'm like, okay. Looks like we'll have a little drama today, ain't we? And so I'm like, hey, how you doing? With a pistol still in my pocket. And I mean, so it didn't escalate to how bad it could have been. Because look, I live in the country. And so I guess this other relative, thinking that I had a pistol in my pocket, the police officer was going like, get on your knees, hands up. And I mean, but anyway, so this police officer, he looked at my pistol. He looked at me and he said, well, you know, he said, did you just get into an argument with somebody? I was like, no. I said, I was walking in the backyard like I normally do. So what's going on? Well, this person said you were trespassing. And I'm like, sir, I lived here for 35 years. This person hasn't even been here a day. They haven't lived here a day. And they're saying, well, do you have proof that you have permission to be here? I'm like, I live here, but every time I go back inside the back of the woods or whatever, I always text another relative whose name is on the deed. And so here's the text message right here. And he was like, oh, well, if you see this other relative or whatever, just don't speak to him. I'm like, okay. And then the other relative, which is different from the relative I saw outside the back or whatever. Apparently, it was this person's brother. They were like, well, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, well, I got the text message right here. You're going to jail. I'm like, no, I have permission to be here. As a matter of fact, I live here. And so I'm still thinking about this astrology that happened all the way back on November 10th, and the other astrology that's meaning my dasha change, but also looking at the Saturn progressions. Whatever happened was bad. The thing about my chart is that pretty much a person may try to mess me over. However, and even if I do get messed over, something worse will happen to that person. That goes for every one of my previous bosses. That goes for any one of my enemies. And so I don't know what this person was trying to do, but I do know that pretty much in the end, I guess I call it karma. But anyway, let me pause for a second. But let me expound a little bit more on the situations that are going on, because it's like, yeah, it's just so weird. A few other things aligned with this event, with this police officer being called. I said in my previous video that pretty much this relative, they do things inside of the background, behind the scenes, and for some reason, I don't know it, but I get like signs. And so I said, like, pretty much they're like a not a what do you call it, a cluster of ladybugs, like in my back window, that's just like making a circle, and like they're just anyway, and they're just still there. They're on the wall. It's a ton of them, a lot of them. I could, if I try to count them, it'll probably about like maybe 700 ladybugs. Weird, but so every time this relative seemingly does something weird or bad to me, it's like, or about me, it's like there's a flurry of green flies, that, you know, the green flies that sit on dead animals, stuff like that. It's like they come in, and it's not like one or two. It's like 8, 9, 10. And so, and I kill all of them. And so, and then next thing you know, I hear something about this relative or whatever. And so, but still, all the while, I'm still looking at these flies or whatever. These ladybugs are like just making this cluster on my back wall, and I'm like, what the world? And so, let's see here. On the I believe either the 9th of January or the 10th of January, for some reason, another relative who is a close relative, a friendly relative. How about that? She was having problems with a dog, and me, I like to be by myself. I don't like to be bothered with no stuff. But however, this relative, she was like, can you? I really, it's really a house dog, and my other relative that she was gonna keep the dog, she was gonna put it on the outside and have it tied to a tree or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. You sound like you really want this dog to be inside of a house or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. So I pretended like I was gonna let the other relative get it. And then so as soon as this relative came here and dropped the dog, well, was finna let the dog out of the car or whatever, I walked outside and I grabbed the dog by his paws or whatever, and looked dead inside of his eyes. And I was hoping it was gonna bite me, because at least it'll show that it had some fight inside of it. But this little dog was just scrambled back, and it was like, and I'm like, oh god, you're gonna be a little bitch. I'm like, I need a fighter. I got a little rat inside of here. I want you to terrorize it. And so this other relative, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring him inside the house, and we'll see. I'll see how it plays out, because I think it was either one raining that it was about to rain that day, or it was cold that day. And so I was like, and this relative is sensitive or whatever. So she was like, I really don't want him to be outside like this, and I'm like, whatever. I'll let him inside the house. And so this dog, this dog, as soon as I let him inside the house or whatever, it ran under a table and just sat there and just looked at me like, and I'm like it was terrified. I'm like, you know what? As long as you don't shit in here, we might can have we might can coexist. And so And keep in mind, I don't like anything around me for. I don't like dogs. I don't like nothing. But for this one moment, I was like, you know what, I'll do it because I mean, like this other relative, she seemed like she was so sad about it or whatever. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So anyway, so that was on the 9th. And so on the 11th is when the incident happened with the police officer. And see, um, I think on the 10th, I tried to make a phone call to some other relatives about this other relative that was having problems with or whatever. And they basically hung up on me. So I'm like, okay, so this person must have did some stuff behind the scenes or whatever. But anyway, it's fine. I get warning signs. But let me pause for a second. Okay, I forgot where I stopped at. I think I was talking about protected. Like there's a flurry of flies. A flurry of flies always pops up like right when this person does something. And so on the 10th, I think I made a phone call to these other relatives or whatever, and they hung up on me. And so see, and pretty much right. See, I think I had not seen a flurry of black flies in a while, but when I got that phone call from them, because I called them first, and they didn't pick up the phone, and they called me back. And so as soon as as the phone was ringing, I looked at the window, and there was like 3 black flies. Now I hadn't seen no black flies like that in about a few weeks, maybe about like 2 weeks. Anyway, so the phone call ended bad, and pretty much they hung up on me, and so I ended up killing those 3 flies. And so I think on the that night, because I think I ran into the other relative on the 11th, right? So that night, because the phone call happened early in the Saturday, I was in my living room. And so pretty much I heard a buzz noise. I was like, oh, another doggone black fly. But instead of it being like one of those green like flies where it's like the ones that carry maggots and stuff like that, it was a regular fly. Um, it was like and it was a small one too. I was like, huh, that's weird. And so pretty much I got it. And for some, sometimes flies should be hard to kill. These flies are easy to kill for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it's supposed to be cold in winter, but in the winter you're not supposed to see flies like this. So anyway, but so I'm just saying weird shit. Anyway, this regular fly was on the top of the ceiling, and so I got like a piece of paper and crushed it or whatever. And so I was like, it shouldn't be that easy to kill a fly, but whatever. And so the next day came, and I was outside walking this new dog that's inside this house for now, but I was walking the dog or whatever. And so in the end, I end up running into that relative again, the mean one or whatever that got a little attitude with me or whatever. And so I just said, hey, I make videos inside the backwoods back here, and I also walk the dog back here. And this other relative, they know about it, and yeah, and then walked on my business. And the next thing, a police officer came back, and police officer was here, and then another relative was here. Well, apparently her brother. Anyway, so as soon as that police officer event happened or whatever, I was looking at my back window, looking out my back window, and like instead of seeing swarms of black flies that carry green flies that carry maggots or whatever, I saw a mosquito. And it's like if you think about it, it's like it went from a deadly situation to this person, not gonna say any profane words right now, getting crushed like a mosquito. Because I just squashed a mosquito like it was nothing. And then I was like, is this real? Is this like? And so next like I left and came back and looked on the side of the wall. It was another mosquito trying to go up against the wall or whatever. And I just crushed out and I was like, huh, ain't that something? You get signs like this when you're, I guess you can call me into spirituality, but I'm looking at patterns. Another thing is that this dog that my good relative brought here or whatever, like this relative, she really doesn't she don't really like to be bothered with no stuff or whatever. And so I guess my point in all of this is that pretty much if I didn't have this dog inside of this house, I would not have that text message to show to the police officer that, hey, I mean, even though I live here, and even though I do have like some kind of whatever, but like to just to have something to show in a moment of chaos, so that things won't go out of hand, especially when you have a pistol on your hip with a police officer. It's stuff like that. It's like something, and that's just not the only thing. It's like I'm thinking about this YouTube account, this YouTube channel or whatever. Pretty much it's like everything that's happening right now is to push this YouTube channel. Even this the adult toys that I bought for a joke in regards to a depressing situation where I had to do a reading for a man that I said could possibly be from the FBI, who knows, whatever. Being that I did successfully predicted the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I also predicted the opening of the government on the 13th of November 2025. Again, I predicted the exact day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and I also predicted the exact day of the opening of the government on November 13th, 2025, even though I thought it was going to be a situation with Bill Clinton. And it did turn out to be a situation with Bill Clinton, but anyway, I made a lot of predictions, and a lot of them came true. But the main thing that happened that may have me on the FBI watch list is the fact that on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, I posted a tweet of I said that I posted a music video, and it was started by Iggy Azalea, and it goes like, I started from the bottom and now I'm rich. And so pretty much in that video, there's a scene where it says Daddy's dead, where this older man that the character that Iggy Azalea is playing, he's poisoned and he dies. And I wrote in that tweet, like, this is hours before Charlie Kirk's assassination, that the daddy that you think is going to die isn't the daddy that you think is going to die, because everybody thought that Donald Trump was going to be assassinated due to the eclipse that happened on September 7th, 2025. Also, in another tweet around the same time, I found a GIF of a penguin. I call it a Pokemon penguin. I found a GIF of a penguin. There's in this picture, it shows this man, this boy, or this man. He's walking on ice, walking towards this penguin or whatever, and this penguin it starts running after him, and this man falls back and he falls over, and the penguin looks at him, and then it jumps up inside the air and turns to a rocket and flies towards the man and explodes, and basically kills the man. And this is hours before Charlie Kirk is assassinated, and this is right after I posted a post saying that the daddy that you think is going to die isn't the daddy that you think is going to die, referencing Donald Trump. People thinking that Donald Trump was going to die due to the eclipse that happened on September the 7th, 2025. And I think 8 hours later, from the post I made on Twitter, that's when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So that's why I'm just simple like this adult toy. Let me pause a second to gather my thoughts a little bit better than this, because I know I'm stuttering and stuff, and I'm just kind of tired. So let me pause a second. Okay, so I guess pretty much. So that's the reason why I may think that the FBI is watching me or whatever, because of those incidents. And then also I made another video talking about how I correctly predicted the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I made that video on October the 14th, 2025. Anyway, so on the day that I had the Saturn progression, I think it was on December the 10th, 2025. I've told this story before, but I want to tell it again. I was at a local store. And so pretty much I ran into this lady, and she asked me to read her chart or whatever, because she was doing some spiritual stuff or whatever, or a spiritual situation. And so I was like, I don't really do spiritual stuff or whatever. I just find patterns in regards to a person's astrology. And so she was like, well, can you do that, please? I'll take anything. And she said, how much you charge? How much we charge? I'm like, I don't charge anything, because I'm like, I'm nobody right now. So I'm like, I gave her my information and how to contact me, whatever. And then Days later, she contacted me, and I gave her the best chart reading that I could give her, due to me not having her, I think, her exact birth time. And so the last time she talked to me was on the 15th of December, right? Yeah. And so, and pretty much she never really gave me any feedback in regards to what was going on. So I was like, you know what, I don't really care. So lo and behold, 3 days later, I get a tweet from some Indian man, and they're like, "Can you read my chart?" And keep in mind, I don't. Nobody follows me on Twitter for I got 31 followers, and so I'm like, out of all the astrologers you see on Twitter, you gonna pick me? And so I'm like, that's already suspicious right there. Like what's going on, FBI? You don't have nothing better to do but to troll me. I did troll anyway. So this person asked me to do a chart reading, and throughout this chart reading or whatever, this person said that they did something illegal. I'm not going to go into that right here, but but also looking at their chart was very similar to my ex's chart where we broke up, the one I broke up with in 2017. And so also the girl's chart who I ran into at the local store or whatever, um, her chart was similar to my ex's chart as well too. So I was like, maybe this might be something good, but keep in mind, I was having a Saturn progression that was going on. And so, I mean, I knew that it was going to be something bad, but I didn't know how bad it was going to be. And then, keep in mind also, I knew that I was going to have a dasha change as well, too. And so I'm like, I didn't expect for this relative to come here and just not mess up stuff, to create so much drama. Even though I should have, because the similar planet that was involved in my dasha change all the way back in 2012 is happening now, but it's on a bigger scale. So who knows? I mean, I may end up having to move, or there may be like some relatives that may pass away. I don't know, or some stuff may come up. I don't know. I'm not a threat to nobody. I've sit at the house and mind my business and do my YouTube channel, and pretty much walk the dog. So if somebody says that, oh, he threatened my life or whatever. No, I've been walking with a pistol in my pocket for as long as I can remember, or with a rifle strapped around my chest for as long as I remember. And I'm not saying I won't do anything to anybody, but I would defend myself if it comes to that. But anyway, my point. So my dasha changes. It means that your whole life, and when you have a major dasha change, it means your whole life changes. My first I think I've had 3 so far. I can't pull up my dasha charts right now, but I think I've had 3 so far. The first time I think was when I moved here, all the way back in 2000. But then again, I mean, fully moved here. I was going back and forth between. Anyway, so right, because I was in like what, 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade. I forgot now. Anyway, like anyway. So there was a major situation where between some relatives back then. I think anyway. So the next time I think it hit was when I think I graduated from high school. Was when I had a major dasha change, and then the next time I think I had a dasha change was when I graduated from. No, I think that's now, right? Yeah, that's now. So I think it's 3 so far. So yeah. So it's a major overhaul in regards to your life, and I'm like this a relative is a trigger, really. And so I'm like, look, and then plus in regards to the current date, Saturn is involved, so it's like a depressive life overall change, and it has been depressing. But what am I doing right now? I was talking about this chart reading that I did for this guy. Let me pause for a second. So I think I segued always to something else. But anyway, so this chart reading I was doing for this man, he said he did something illegal or something like that. Hopefully I'm on the right track, because I'm pausing and there's so much stuff that's going on. It's like, yeah, my thoughts. There's so much information. So anyway, because I think my overall point right now is explain why I think that I was being watched by the FBI, or whatever. Anyway, so this guy said he did something really illegal, and so it being that this person's chart was similar to my ex's chart, and also this other female's chart was similar to my ex's chart as well. I felt like I had a sense of some kind of hope or whatever, but it was Saturn. And so pretty much after this guy told me that he did something illegal and I had to report him, I went through a complete sense of depression because this person he was born one day after my ex. Their charts were similar but not the same. And so I was so depressed that I was ready to quit YouTube because pretty much and astrology in general, because I was out of storage on this phone. And I was trying to set up and save some money to and do odd and end jobs to get enough money to set up and get a hard drive for this phone. And pretty much with everything I had to do and deal with or whatever I saved up like what $30 some dollars or whatever. And so I was like, you know what, screw it. God, if you want to make this happen, make it happen. And so I was so upset that with the $30 that I had left or whatever from doing all the stuff I was doing or whatever, I said, you know what? I saw some adult toys on Amazon or whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy this because I think around the same time there was this rat inside of this house. I had an incident with a rat, and I think if you want to hear that full story or whatever, just watch. I think I made a video on December 25th on Christmas Day, talking about rambling. And in this story, I explained this story as well too. But anyway, so there's this rat that I think was pissed off at me because I ended up getting rid of maybe its friend or whatever. Sound crazy as shit. I don't care anymore. But anyway, so I killed this I guess this little rat's friend or whatever. And so pretty much I guess it went inside my back room. And see, in my back room I keep like some stuff that I had from my past or whatever. So like my friend who committed suicide, she owned a pawn shop. And so pretty much she also sold adult toys and adult movies. And so when she closed down her shop or whatever, she gave me like a lot of her stuff. And so amongst that stuff was like some adult toys. So this rat went in the back there and chewed up those adult toys. And so I was like, okay, well, I was already pissed off about this Indian man and having to report this guy, and like nothing else is working out in regards to my career or whatever. Because I'm like, the astrology shows that my career should be I should be bigger than what I am right now, and I should have a lot more money than what I have right now, and yet I don't. And so, I said, whatever, fuck it. I want to buy some stainless steel adult toys because those adult toys inside the back, but they were made of rubber, silicone, whatever. And so yeah, so I spent the last little money I had in regards to trying to invest inside my astrology channel, whatever, on some adult toys. And then so as soon as I get home from making this order, I was doing something that day. So as soon as I got home from that, pretty much I went to the mailbox, and apparently a relative from another state, they sent me some money, which I didn't ask for. And as a matter of fact, I told this relative not to send me anything else because I was a while back I was using these hemp vapes or whatever, and pretty much I didn't want to sell and get the money that this relative was giving me to spend on like a hemp vape or a marijuana vape or whatever, because it just that doesn't sit right inside of my heart. Okay, so but I called this person. I was like, and she seemed like she was like, I didn't really want to, but some told me to just send you this money, whatever. And I was like, you know what, I actually needed this right at this point in time. And I said, thank you. What I want to do with this money is I'm gonna buy me a hard drive with it. And then come to find out, last night I was just on Amazon, I was bored out of my mind. And so this hard drive that I bought, it was for, I think, anyway, the price of it increased. So I paid the money that I got from this relative was just enough to get it while it was on discount. And so I looked at the price of it now, and I'm like, wow, I guess I got lucky. It's like everything right now is happening for me to keep on going in regards to this YouTube channel. That's why I'm not really scared to go back to the woods back there and pretty much make my YouTube videos or whatever, because I'm like, if God wants me to have it, I'm gonna have it. And then lo and behold, these adult toys get here, and I'm like, this is a story in itself. I'm like, I'm thinking, because I didn't look at the measurements of the adult toys, and so I'm like, this box gets here, and I'm thinking that they're stainless, it's a stainless steel dildo or whatever. So I'm like, oh, stainless steel adult toy, and so I'm not gonna use this stuff. I'm like, it was a fucking joke, because I'm like, I was so pissed off about how bad things were since in my life in regards to just this reading I had to do for this person. And I'm like, look, God, if you want me to be on YouTube or whatever, figure it out, because I'm like, I'm tired. No, I'm tired. I played a lot of like I said, I only learned astrology to try to beat the lottery, and I purchased so many lottery tickets since 2018, and I've done so much research since 2008. Well, since before 2018, but I really went in hard in regards to learning astrology in 2018, because my life just got so fucking bad, and so the breaking point for me in regards to astrology was in 2020, and pretty much I had nothing, and pretty much my career was messed up, and also it was COVID, and so I'm like, anyway, somehow, because I was going back and forth between these plant jobs or whatever, and somehow I ended up getting unemployment. And see, I knew that something good was supposed to happen. Okay, this is what happened. Around June 4th, 2020, I had a progression of Jupiter. And back then I didn't know just how anyway. I thought that maybe if I would have bought a lottery ticket during this Jupiter progression, that something would happen. Or and then because also looking at the other astrology, the transits, the this, the that, and that, and that, and this. I was like, I should run into some money on around this date. And so I bought. I think I had got my Anyway, I can get that personal. Anyway, so how am I gonna say this? I had a lottery ticket that played that was playing on that day on June 4th, 2020. And back then, I think Mega Millions, they had the just the jackpot option, and I was like, look, if I'm going to win anything, I want just the jackpot. I don't care if it's 20 million. I don't care if it's 100 million. I don't care if it's a billion. I need more than 1 million. I need more than 2 million. I need more than my battery's gonna go out. Anyway, so I said I want enough money to retire for the rest of my life, and so that's why I was studying astrology. And so the point, in the end, instead of winning the lottery, I got unemployment. It was probably the most money I made. Probably not the most money that I made. Well, okay, being that I was at home, and pretty much the money it seemed like it was more than what it was more than normal, because I made more money I think at Verizon, but still, my point. So I was so depressed that I ended up getting unemployment instead of winning the lottery. And so, and then plus these Jupiter progressions or whatever, it takes like 2.5 years to hit, and still it doesn't mean that it's gonna play out like oh, you're gonna win the lottery or whatever. It is what I learned is that it is fate. Everything that's meant to happen will happen. It's meant to happen. Anyway, so what was my point? I forgot. and I'm on like 15% of battery life. So anyway, I guess I'm just gonna say this pretty much. So I bought these adult toys as a joke, and like pretty much, I didn't look at the measurements, and so I was up for thinking that it was gonna be a big ass box of like stainless steel adult toys or whatever, like big. And it's gonna probably the box is gonna probably be so big that it's not gonna fit inside of the mailbox. Oh my god! And so I'm up looking at the mailbox, watching it, and a box this small came, like this small. And then when I opened the box, it was like like a what do you call it, a Russian doll where you just open it, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And so I ended with this. I ordered like a small, medium, and large. It's not like I'm gonna actually use the stuff. It's just to replace the adult toys that the rat chewed upside the back room back there. But anyway, so I ended up getting this is a small. This is a small. This is this apparently is a medium. Like one finger. It's smaller. It's smaller than my middle finger. I should be doing that. Anyway, it's smaller than this finger right here. and then the large is like what this it's like really like. But just come to find out that pretty much the large is the reported same dimensions in girth, length, and etc. The reported and alleged dimensions as Bill Clinton's anatomy. And so this was like the funny everything that I've done so far since what 2025 since 2025, which really since 2018 has led me here with this astrology situation. But all the money that I've spent so far since 2018, it seems like it led me to right here. That's why I'm not really scared in regards to whatever happens with this relative and all this other stuff. If they kill me, they kill me. But apparently I end up becoming famous. and if they do kill me, I want to put a lien on everything that they think that they own, everything that they own, and everything they don't even know that they own. And I want them inside of prison for the rest of their damn life. I don't want death penalty. I want them in prison for the rest of their fucking life. And I want a lien, and I want whatever comes up with the property or whatever to go to the relative whose dog that I'm taking care of right now. And I want any proceeds that come up from if I do end up if I do end up gone or whatever, any proceeds I get from this YouTube channel or whatever, it goes to making whoever kills me's life hell. And then also helping out my sisters on my mother's side. So my sisters, not my father's side, my sisters on my mother's side. And helping out my the relative whose dog I'm keeping right now. And that's just that. So I think that's all I want to do. I want to set up and just leave some kind of whatever. I'm at 15%. So that's it for me. Bye for now. Was it the entire story? I think I want to say one more thing. This YouTube channel, the picture of me wearing this hat right here. Pretty much looking at the astrology of the picture of the time that I took the picture. I think it was January sometime that I took that picture, January 21st. It was a freeze here inside of Alabama. And so it was January I think 21st, 2025. I forgot the exact date. I'll probably post inside another video. But pretty much on that exact day, transit Lilith was exactly conjunct my ascendant. It was at 20. Lilith was at 22 degrees something. Weirdly enough, that's making the aspect of Charlie Kirk's ascendant. I mean Charlie Kirk's son, natal son, as well. But let's see here. My point is that all the way back in 2012, I got sick. And see, Lilith can be sometimes people consider Lilith as the Greek I'm not gonna call her a monster. The Greek entity, Medusa. because I think they both have something to do with snakes. But but just so you know, I actually in my personal chart, in my natal chart, I have Lilith on the ascendant, and Pluto conjunct Lilith, and Lilith conjunct Pluto, and Fortune conjunct Lilith and Pluto. Anyway, all three of those are conjunct in my first house in Scorpio. And so all the way back in 2012, 2013, I was going. I think it was inside my Jupiter Dasha, as my Rahu Jupiter Dasha. And so pretty much I was having problems with these relatives back then. And so in the end, I somehow ended up getting sick. And so, but before I got sick, I had asked God for something. And so that something came. But in the end, it messed up my life for 4 years. And so I had broke down to the point I got so sick that I was like, I've done I tried to do everything right, everything the right way, the righteous way, and etc. And it's like I was like, even a God can turn on you, even God Himself can turn on you. Because I was thinking about the story of Medusa. I was in my bed and I was so scared to go to sleep because I was scared if I went to sleep or whatever. I think I had sepsis at the time. I didn't. It was undiagnosed, but I think I had sepsis at the time. And so, pretty much, I was scared to go to sleep because I was scared I wouldn't wake back up. And this is during my Jupiter, my Rahu Jupiter Dasha, all the way back in 2012, 2013. And so, my point is that pretty much that picture that I use as my thumbnail, it's like it's marked by Lilith. When I took that picture, Lilith was exactly conjunct my ascendant, and it's like, but you should know Medusa, even though Medusa is is considered a monster, it's also like protection. And so what back then when this incident happened, when I got sick, and I said, God, I did everything right. What I didn't know was that pretty much it was protecting me. That event that happened while I was so sick that I almost died, it was protecting me because the thing about it is that I was in college at the time. And so and I was planning on going to a higher university, but I would have had to take on student loans. And so I was crying inside of the bed. And I was like, God, why'd you do this to me? And so in the end, I got better. But through astrology, I saw that was God trying to protect me. It was just like Athena and Medusa. Athena, she turned Medusa, one of her servants, into a gorgon. Because I think there was one story that was saying that it was to protect her because Medusa was the most beautifulest woman in the world and pretty much the most beautifulest of all women, I believe. And so Poseidon, he raped her, I believe, or I think Neptune. And so pretty much and so I think to protect Medusa, Athena, she turned Medusa into a hideous gorgon, and any man that looked her, that she stared at, whatever, was turned into stone. And so I believe that my the image that image with me wearing this hat it's almost like the Medusa image, where pretty much I was supposed to have died all the way back in 2012, 2013, and I survived it. I forgot my overall point. There's so much. I mean, I'm thinking about the situation that's going on now, with this relative that's doing crazy stuff now. And so yeah, maybe there's a reason for it. Hopefully, it doesn't kill me. But anyway, what else was there? But that stuff happened to protect me from incurring student debt. Because if I would have incurred student debt, I would not be able to do what I'm doing right now. So, is that everything? Let me pause for a second. I don't know how much battery life I got left, but yeah. So I guess my overall point is that everything happens for a reason, but also everything fated as well. There's no point in learning astrology. What is meant for you is meant for you. And I'm like, I tried to beat the lottery so many times, failed, but I guess I gained some skills. I want to call it a skill. Anyway, and I hope I don't sound too crazy or out of sorts because it's just so much stuff that's going on, and it's so much information. So hopefully I don't sound too crazy. Um, I guess bye for now. I probably have to retell this story about the Lilith conjunct the ascendant in that picture or whatever. And I probably give the exact date that it happened and the exact astrology maybe one day. Anyway, and hopefully I don't sound too crazy again. Bye for now.